What's up, YouTube? Ryan back today with another Minor League Monday. The minor league season starts tomorrow, May 4th, and today I'm giving you guys 5 players that have to perform this season or they might just become irrelevant. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And that is what we're doing today. I have 5 players today that need to perform. They're all top prospects that, have had a ton of hype at one point or still do. And with them missing a year in the minor leagues, this is a make it or break it year for so many guys in the minor leagues if they want to keep that hype. And I'm going to explain that as we go. I'm going to talk a little bit about their sports cards today, but not a lot. It's going to be mostly focused just on the player and the minor league season and what they need to do and how they need to perform. But I'm going to show eBay sales history just so you guys have an idea of where their market's at, basically. And I'll say whether I think it's a good buy or not. But it's going to be pretty brief on the sports cards today. So yeah, let's just jump into the video. If you guys like this video, if you're excited for the minor league season like I am, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments what you guys think of these 5 players and their expectations that I have for them, and whether or not you agree with me. Like, is this a make it or break it year for these 5 guys? Let me know. All right, let's jump straight into it. Player number 1. First player up on the list today is Jordan Adams for the Los Angeles Angels. He was the 17th overall pick in the 2018 draft. Jordan Adams is a super freak. He was a football player in high school, just a really great athlete, like unbelievable speed. As you guys can see on the side of the screen, he has an 80 grade at speed. Like, the dude flies. But on top of that, he grades out pretty well. 50 hit, 50 power, 45 arm, 60 field. So he's a plus defender with plus speed, super plus speed, whatever you want to say it. The dude flies. He had a really impressive home run in spring training, so I think the power is developing for him, and we're going to just jump into his stats here really quick, but I think this is a make it or break it year for him. I think if he doesn't perform this year, he could become irrelevant. Like, right now, he's their number 3 prospect, and he's at 21, so this is a big year for him. He needs to show progression. So we dive into his stats, you guys. He had an okay first year in Pro Bowl. Nothing crazy. He only played 29 games, 267 batting average, 361 on base percentage, 742 OPS, 0 home runs. Just a pretty meh 29 games to start off his pro career. 2019, he did okay. He showed a little bit of improvement in certain areas, specifically power, but still slash 257, 351 on base percentage, 720 OPS. He had 8 home runs, though, so that is a positive, showing that he does have some type of power. 8 home runs over 109 games. That's not the worst thing in the world as a 19-year-old kid. So then we have spring training. Last time he's played, he wasn't very great. 056. He played 15 games, only had 19 plate appearances. So pretty much just pinch hit this whole spring training. So not like a really great sample size, but he did have that one really impressive home run. He hit it over the batter's eye. Like, it was really impressive. So he did show some power in the spring, but I think this is an important season for Jordan Adams. I remember when he got drafted, he was super hyped, and I still think he's a good player. I still think he can be a very good player, and I'm going to talk about his sports cards here in a second, but he's pretty affordable. I think out of this list, I think he's the best buy out of this because he's a super athlete. He really is. If he can show that he's made improvements at the plate this season, then I think he's going to go up from here. So I'm going to jump into sports cards really quick. All right, again, it's not going to be too crazy on the sports cards. I will say I do like Jordan Adams as a buy. I think these refractors are a little expensive, though, the $20 range. I actually just bought a couple on ComC for about $8. So they're definitely cheaper over there for the refractors. But I think he's fairly priced. Like, Bowman first autograph out of $150 for $108. Like, that's cheap. That's really cheap. $950 for a numbered Bowman Chrome. Yeah. Sign me up. I think he's a good buy right there. That's a better price right there for the refractor. $7.50. $50 for his autograph. Like, he's really cheap right now, you guys. And again, he's a super athlete. PSA 10 refractor, $60. I think he's a solid buy. And that's about all I'm going to get into too much. I'm going to scroll through the prices, but I do think he's a solid buy. And this year's going to be big for Jordan Adams. I know I'm going to say this a lot during this video, but this year is the year where at his age and his skill set and where the team needs him, like, he needs to put on. He needs to put up some good numbers. Like, look at that one. That's crazy. PSA 10, $17.50. I wish I would have saw that. I would have bought that in a heartbeat. This is a big year for him. I think this is a make it or break it year. Either he shows that he progresses and the hype comes back for him because, again, he has the skill set. If not, though, I think he's going to start falling. Like, he's getting a little too old to not be showing progression. Number 2 on the list today, Nolan Gorman, Arizona boy. I'm actually a little bit too old for him. I didn't get to play against him in high school, but I did play against his high school a bunch. They were really solid when we played against them. Besides that, Nolan Gorman, guys, he's 20 years old right now. And, this is the year he needs to put on. He needs to show up this year because 2018, he did fantastic. His first rookie ball season gave us all the hopes and dreams of Nolan Gorman. Over 63 games, he hit 291 with a 380 on base percentage, 949 OPS, and on top of that, he hit 17 home runs in 63 games. Incredible. Really great rookie ball appearance for Nolan Gorman. He regressed a little bit in 2019. Not a whole ton, but he did regress. And, he was still only 19 years old, but he hit 248 with a 326 on base percentage, 439 slugging, 765 OPS. Nothing crazy. He did hit 15 home runs, which is the positive of 2019, showing that he still has power. Didn't lose any of that. But, it just wasn't what I think a lot of people were expecting. I think a lot of people were expecting him to just destroy the minor leagues. Like, me included, I thought he's just a next level talent. But he got knocked to reality a little bit. So this year's going to be a big one for him because right now he's a number 32 overall prospect in baseball. That 30 range is really huge because if he has a big year, he could jump to top 20, top 15. You never know, depending on how well he does play. But if he doesn't, he could fall down to the bottom half of the top 100. Who knows? If it's really bad, you never know how far you can go down that list and as quick as it can happen. So, and then he played in spring training a little bit, kind of more the same as most of the prospects this year. 15 games, 24 plate appearances, so mostly pinch hitting opportunities. He hit 174 with a 208 on base percentage. Just nothing to really talk about here with the spring training numbers. So I wouldn't look too deep into that, but this is a huge year for Nolan Gorman. Again, super hype prospect, still really hyped at number 32. Like, don't let 32 discredit him at all. I know some people only care about the top 10 prospects in baseball, but 32 is really impressive. There's thousands of players out there. So for me, the way I'm looking at Nolan Gorman is he was great his first year. He had a little bit of a sophomore slump. This is the year he needs to come back and say, nah, I'm here still. Nolan Gorman's for real. He needs to have a good year this year. And if he can do just that and provide maybe a spot on that Cardinals roster, oh man, that Cardinals team is going to be really, really strong because Nolan Gorman should come up next year. I don't think we'll see him this year unless he's just crazy. He has to play really well this year to come up. But no, this is a great year for Nolan Gorman. This is a perfect opportunity for him to bounce back. Again, it stinks that he lost a year because of no minor leagues last year. So this is an important year for him. Let's talk about sports cards. All right, Nolan Gorman, again, number 32 prospect. So his stuff is a little more expensive, but it's really not that bad. Check out this BGS 9.5 autograph, $105. That's very cheap. And then the PSA 10's almost $300. That price differential, that don't make sense to me. $88 for Mojo PSA 10, only $4 for refractor there. I think that's a great buy. Bowman Chrome PSA 10, $83. That's not the worst thing in the world. $125 for the raw autograph. Looking for $5 to $10 on his base Bowman Chrome card. Again, another good buy at $650 for his refractor. You're looking around the $10 to $15 range for his refractor and about $5 range for his Bowman Chrome base. I think he's a decent buy. I don't think he's someone I'm going crazy over right now. But if he shows that he's back, these will skyrocket. They will skyrocket. Really important year for Nolan Gorman. That's why he made my list. Number 3 on the list, Hunter Greene, Cincinnati Reds. Hunter Greene has a lot of pressure on him this season. He has to perform. If he doesn't perform, it's going to be a really bad look, and it's going to end up turning into what could look like a terrible draft pick. Hunter Greene is number 61 overall prospect. He's gigantuan, 6'5", 230. He sits 100 miles an hour with this fastball. He has the stuff. His stuff is disturbing to watch. I remember he started a spring training game that was on national television, and I think the first 3 pitches were 100 miles an hour, 101 miles an hour, 102 miles an hour. Those are the first 3 pitches of the game. He throws gas. He's 21 years old, and he just hasn't performed yet. Hunter Greene was the second overall pick in the 2017 draft. So if he didn't have any pressure on him already, he's still trying to live up to that draft pick. 2017, he didn't do great at all. His debut was horrible. 12.46 ERA, just didn't have it. I mean, he only had 3 starts, so it's not like a huge sample size, but it was not a great first year for Hunter Greene at all. 2018 comes back, gets 18 starts, so a good amount of work, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. He only pitched 68 innings in those 18 starts, 4.48 ERA, control issues all around, 23 walks. I mean, he can still strike people out. He had 89 strikeouts in 68 innings. Like, that's impressive, but, just not good. Not second overall pick hype. So Hunter Greene, he came out, he played in spring training. He had that one start I talked about, and he was looking good. He actually was looking solid, and then he gave up a 3-run home run, which wasn't great because he only ended up pitching 1 inning, gave up a 3-run home run, and it ruined the start because the rest of his start actually looked really good for that inning. I think he had like 2 weak singles hit off of him and then a home run, so it was unfortunate. But this is the year for Hunter Greene. He's kind of on my list for someone that I think is going to ball out this year. I do think Hunter Greene's going to have a really good year. I just think his stuff is inevitable. I just don't think if you're sitting 100 miles an hour and it's effortless for him. Like, there's some people up there that it looks like they're trying to throw 100 miles an hour. It looks like he's trying to throw like 90, and it's just 100 miles an hour because he's that big and lengthy, and it's natural for him. So I think he's going to do well this year. I think this is going to really be a bounce back year. He came back from Tommy John. Like, this is Hunter Greene's year to really show, hey, I'm still here. Let's talk about our sports cards. All right, so Hunter Greene, again, I think Hunter Greene's actually a solid buy right now. I know it's hard to invest in pitchers, but he does have the hype on his name. Being a second overall pick definitely provides that hype. So again, Bowman Chrome there, $4. His autograph, it's really not that expensive. I do think that's a little overpriced for the purple. Earlier in the offseason, his stuff was really cheap. Like, really, really cheap. It's come up just a little bit. But Mojo, $6. Right there, $1 for Bowman Chrome. Like, I love that purchase. Atomic, PSA 10, $66. Like, I don't think that's a bad buy. $114 base auto. And he was in Bowman, so his refractor is numbered out of $4.99. You got to keep that in mind. So it's a little, it's really not even that expensive at $10. But for a pitcher, that's a little pricey. But yeah, Hunter Greene, this is the year he needs to show up. He has the whole world to prove wrong at this point because a lot of people think he's a bust. I think he's going to be great this year. I think he has the skill set. I think he has the size, the strength. I think he's deliveries effortlessly. Like, I really like everything he has. I think it's going to be a big year for him. He has to show up, or again, it's going to look like a bust. That's why he's on my list today. He has a ton of pressure on him this year. Spencer Torkelson, and this is a player I never thought I'd have on this list, but with what he has done so far in his pro career, I have to include him. Spencer Torkelson, he's from ASU. I've watched him play a ton in college. Honestly, the best college hitter I've ever seen in my life. Undeniably the best college hitter I've ever seen play. Seen him chase like one bad pitch in like 50 plate appearances that I've like watched live. On top of hundreds virtually. So if you would have asked me at the draft, I would have said there's no way this dude ever fails. Like, he's way too good at hitting. But he's had a really slow start. Like, extremely slow start. He struggled a little bit in camp when he first got drafted because there was no minor league season. I remember them talking about he was just struggling a little bit offensively at the training site. And then spring training this year, he sucked. Like, they brought him into spring training, and again, he's never had any pro at-bats really in a game setting. He went 1 for 27. He did get a couple starts too, so not impressed with what he did at spring training clearly, but I do think he still has it. Like, I'm still not super concerned about Spencer Torkelson, and we'll get into his sports cards, and his prices still kind of reflect that no one's really worried about him. But I think he has a lot to prove. I really do. After this slow start, he could wash that away really quickly, but I do think there's a lot of pressure on him. Number 1 overall draft pick in 2020. And again, he's just been really slow, and there's a lot of people questioning whether he's legit. Again, I thought I'd never have to add him on this list, but I think he fits. I think he fits the role, and I think he has a ton of pressure on him now. Like, Spencer Torkelson is a guy that the Tigers expected to potentially be ready to come up this year. Like, I heard a lot of rumors that You know, especially Torkelson looked good at the training site. Like, he'd be pushed along quickly. And then spring training, if he would have performed really well, he could have been pushed along even further. And then, you know, maybe started in high A, something like that. Performed there, brought up. Like, there was a legitimate chance that people thought he was going to be on the opening day roster in 2022. So, I mean, it's still not out of the realm of possibility. It's just, it's not looking like it so far. And I think he just has a lot to prove. All right, I'm going to show you guys the sports cars just really quick. He's still really high priced. Coming down a little bit from his spring training performances, but still expensive. Still a first overall draft pick. His stuff is expensive. Sapphire $130, Bowman Chrome $30. And again, 2020 Bowman draft quality control is horrible. So pretty much any card you buy of these, like, you're going to expect flaws of some sort. Refractor $40, which I don't think is bad. Like, I think that's actually a solid buy, but it's still high. Like, it just is. If he doesn't perform, like, these could come crashing down. So, like, I'm not saying go buy Torkelson, because if he does have a slow year, these will be very affordable. And the Arizona State baseball fan in me who wants to collect all of his cards, I would love for his prices to come down, but of course I don't want to see him struggle. That's all I'm going to say about Spencer Torkelson. Again, I think he has a little bit of leeway just because he hasn't played yet in the pros, but I think there's a lot of pressure there. I think this is a year he has to show that he's legit. He's the #1 overall draft pick for a reason, and people like me, I'm expecting him to really show out. I'm expecting him to come out the gates and be like, yeah, I'm going to be ready next year to play for the team. I'm going to be ready to be up in the pros. So, had to include him on the list. Didn't think I ever have to, but the start to his pro career hasn't been good. All right, and the last player on the list, and I'm pretty sure everyone that clicked this video probably was expecting this guy to show up on the video. Jason Dominguez, New York Yankees. He's number 27 prospect overall. He's their #1 prospect. He has comparisons to Mike Trout, Bo Jackson, Mickey Mantle. Pretty much just any giant human that is super athletic and just apparently really good at baseball he's compared to. So, yeah, a lot of expectations for Jason. I would say he has to rank #1 as the most pressure coming into this season. Again, he's only 18, which is great. Still really young. Skill set is insane. Jason Dominguez is that highly scouted that if he performs this year, he's going to be probably close to the #1 prospect in baseball. That's just how much hype he has on his name. And that comes with a lot of pressure. So we'll get to see what happens with Jason this season. I will say right now, Yankees fans are going crazy because Jason Dominguez was just announced that they're keeping him in extended spring training. And, you know, I do think it's an interesting call. And I'm not really sure why they would do it, but there has to be a good reason. They pretty much just keep saying they want him to develop. Like, I don't know, maybe he's not looking very good. I have no idea why they would do it, but he's in extended spring training, so we're not going to see his pro debut just yet. People are really not happy about it, and I get it, especially Yankee fans, but Jason Dominguez this year is numero uno for most pressure on him. If he shows up this year, people are going to go nuts. Again, he could be the #1 prospect in baseball if he has like an incredible first year. And if he doesn't, his stock is going to go down. We're going to talk about his sports cards, but he's expensive. He's very expensive. It's coming down a little bit, which is nice to see because he was just way too expensive, but no pro experience. Everyone in the world is watching Jason Dominguez this year. He's a switch hitter. Comparisons to literally some of the greatest baseball players of all time, plus Bo Jackson, who's like arguably the greatest athlete of all time. Yeah, I'd say he has pressure. Having expectations is an understatement. He has to perform this year. Absolutely has to perform. So let's talk about his sports cards. And again, I'm just going to glance at them for you, show you where his market's kind of at. $30 Bowman Chrome. This price makes me more happy. PSA 10 for a product that really doesn't have great quality control at $196. Like, it used to be a $400 card, and I was saying, yeah, people are crazy. Anyone buying at $400 is nuts, and I'm glad I was a little bit right. So it's come down a lot since then. Even the Sapphire's coming down, $727 PSA 10. That used to be a $1,000, $1,200 card. So his market is coming down, but it's still definitely expensive. $197 PSA 10 there, $680 for Sapphire. But you're looking around the $20 to $30 range right now for a Bowman Chrome base, which, you know, for his hype, I think is not the worst in the world. Again, he was in regular Bowman, not Bowman draft, because he was signed internationally. They never have international prospects in draft. So his refractors are numbered to 499. The Mojo refractor is going to be the one that's not numbered, and that's $100 right there. And to show you guys some autograph prices, BGS 9.5 with the 10, $1,750. PSA 10, $2,200. This is the image variation out of the Mega Box. $1,200 PSA 10, $2,000 for the Sparkle number to $299. And then as you can see, raw price for his autograph, $1,000. So that's going to be it. I don't need to talk about Jason anymore. Everyone in the world will be watching this kid when he makes his pro debut. I'm really excited to see how he handles the pressure, because baseball, as physical as it can be at times, it is 1,000% a mental sport, and he's going to have the world watching him. Every bit of pressure that's humanly possible to put on someone is going to be put on Jason Dominguez this year. So, yeah, he's number one on the list, and he deserves to be. All right, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this list. These 5 players, do they need to perform this year? Like, can any of these 5 players afford to have a slow 2021 season? I don't think so. I think every one of these guys has to put on. They need to perform. They need to show progression, or else they could fall off the earth. They could become irrelevant very quickly, especially in baseball. There's always another person in line. I'm sure I can make a video on probably 1,000 more players that need to perform this year. I would say this is probably the most important season in minor league history. But these are 5 prospects that are high draft picks and have so much hype, and their teams need them to perform. They need to show progression. So, yeah, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think of the 5 players in the comments below. Are you guys ready for the minor league season? I'm so excited. I don't even know what type of content I'm going to be putting out just yet. I think I'm going to do at least a weekly review on top prospects and top players, and maybe even top players of the week in the minor leagues on this channel moving forward. But there's so much opportunity. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I cannot wait. Thank you guys for watching as always, and you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya!